When shall we three meet again? In the thunder, lightning, or in the rain? When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won, that will be before the set of the sun. Where the place? Upon the wasteland, there to meet with Macbeth. So if you can't tell, that was Act 1, Scene 1 from Macbeth. Thank you. I do read Shakespeare. No, I really don't. But no, that was the opening scene of Macbeth, the three witches meeting. If you can't tell, this episode is about witches. Okay, let me back up some. This is still Dumb Test Late. I'm still Kirk. That's already set. So I'm thinking of, new episodes to do, writing everything down, trying to come up with ideas. And I was like, it's getting close to Christmas, getting close to wintertime. I really want to do a holiday type story, but I honestly feel like every traditional holiday Christmas story is already done and it's already been redone. Because now everything is a remake of a remake of a remake of a remake. I think the original, like the Santa Claus movie with Tim Allen, I think they're on the Santa Clauses actual series on Disney Plus. I feel like it's overdone and been done. There's every love story, there's every Santa story, there's every non-believer story. I was like thinking like I want to do something sort of original, but it's hard to be original nowadays. It's just time in life. And I was like, what like stories haven't been told? And I always like I'm always a fan of lore and folklore and older tales. And I was like, yeah, a lot of Christmas stories are from pagan rituals. So I was like, maybe I should go down the alley. And I was thinking more about pagan stuff. Like a lot of people who celebrate quote unquote, a more Christian celebration of the holidays, there are pagan things within those, like the Christmas tree. A Christmas tree in the house is pagan. A lot of the foods, a lot of decorations, a lot of that stuff is pagan. It's based around winter solstice. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do something pagan and about the winter solstice, which is this year is December 21st. But then I was like, what goes along with pagan beliefs? I was like, witchcraft. I was like, So I was like, yeah, that's what I'll do. So my holiday story is going to be like a new folklore, because I couldn't really find anything off this. If there was an actual folklore about witches and around holiday time or winter solstice time, I should say. There's the Wiccan beliefs and all that stuff. Pagan beliefs that people do carry on. They're more based around nature. Less about like, a commercialized holiday time or a seasonal time. It's more about nature because the winter solstice, if you didn't know, I looked this up, so trust me. It's the longest night of the year. Some places I saw it said it's the shortest day and the longest night, but the most consistent thing I saw was the longest night of the year. And I was like, what kind of tale, what kind of folklore, what kind of fairy tale or holiday tale can I base around that? Because it's a natural thing. Longest night of the year. And I was like, oh, let's go down pagan beliefs. Let's go down Wiccan beliefs. Let's come up with something. So this is my holiday thing. That's why I started the episode with the Three Witches opening scene of Macbeth. Because looking up a lot of like witch folklore and trying to find like things that don't get talked about and kind of older tales, it's depressing looking up Wiccan and witch folklore because the few consistent, I should say, things that pop up when you're looking at North American Wiccan and witch folklore is always it's like the Salem witch trials. How many witches were killed? How were they killed? They were killed this way, and it's sad that that's like the first thing it goes to, because that's what it's most famous for, and myths and facts about that. I wanted to have it's always negative. Even like the three witches in Macbeth, what I read from, the first thing you learn, like you read about them, is how ugly they were, how terrible they looked, and all this stuff. It's always like this negativity with folklore and witches. It's always something bad. They're always doing something bad. They're kidnapping children. They're eating children. They're hypnotizing people. They're straying people astray. They're bringing people astray. They're, bringing people to the devil. There's always something bad. But like I said, with pagan and Wiccan beliefs, it's more about nature. So I wanted to come up with like a story idea about on the winter solstice, especially that day, because some pagan beliefs are like, it lasts like 2 months leading up to the winter solstice. So I was like, how can I combine these and come up with a story? So that's what I tried to do. That's what I'm attempting to do. This is my first attempt at it. And I thought, like, since it's the Christmas Creep, today's the 11th of December, so we're almost at Christmas. I was like, maybe I should do more nature, more pagan, more Wiccan, or natural stories about the winter solstice, about this season, instead of just like a commercialized look at like, oh, Santa needs this new helper, and there's a secret Santa, there's a new Santa. Like, less around that, more about natural things. So this is my first attempt. Hopefully I'll come back to it soon or find another one. So, like I said, it's going to be based around the winter solstice, that first night of the original night of the winter solstice, I should say, December 21st, which is the longest night. So, in this story, it's going to be based around, you know, if we want to call it Wiccans or witches. But I wanted to set it up where a lot of witches who may be alive, or secret witches, or not known to be witches, and in their families or in work or wherever, they all, not all, but covens of them meet. This is going to be based in North America. They meet on that night. Well, the sunset until sunrise the next morning, because a lot of pagan beliefs, there was like a I forgot what the festival was called, a celebration. It's, you're supposed to be out in nature with kind of celebrating with your family. And some people stay up and have parties from sunset to sunrise, because it's kind of a thing where, since it's the longest night, you're supposed to celebrate the sun coming back up, something like that. So in my story, this coven of witches, this large coven of witches who are alive now, they bring back older witches that have been burned, well, hung or drowned, or there's a lot of things I was reading about the Salem witch trials. There's certain people who are saying that burned at the stake was kind of a myth, that really didn't happen. But whatever, the witches that came before who were terribly killed because they were lied about being witches, or they actually were witches, they were crucified. They come back to life at this one night. It's the longest night. And they all are coming back together to do this one mission. And in my mind, the thing I was thinking about were they had to collectively cast these spells, or they had to work together with the ones that are passed, that are being brought back up as spirits, and the witches that are alive now, to, in my mind, I wanted them to do something good. Like, they have to do this thing to get the sun to come back up, like every year on the winter solstice, because something happens that the sun isn't going to come back up unless they do that. And that's why it ends up being the longest night, because the process is long. All the magic, they have to use all their magic, all the wicked magic, all the natural forces to get the sun back up. And that's what they have to do on this winter solstice night. That's why there's a celebration when the sun rises. Also, I had this this idea of what I wanted to do, to not have a script or words or anything like that. So think back to Fantasia and Fantasia 2000. I loved those. I wanted to be told like that, with orchestra music playing, Christmas orchestra music playing, to tell the tale and tell the story through the visuals, the movement, the tone of the music, everything that's going on, very atmospheric. I didn't want words, because I wanted this story to just move. And I wanted to be told from the perspective of like younger kids or girls. Like, they see their aunts and their moms and older sisters sneak off to this coven and this ritual and all this stuff, and they secretly follow them, and they learn what's going on, because there's always been these hush and whispers that this person's a witch and that person's a witch. But we're in today's era. We don't have, witch trial. We have different versions. Let me not get into that. But so they sneak off and they witness this, but they're scared because they're thinking of the old tales of witches doing bad things, kidnapping kids, and Hansel and Gretel and all this crazy stuff. But these witches are doing good. The kids see them basically fighting the night. I don't know, fighting the night sounds cheesy. They're fighting an entity that's trying to keep the sun down. This one night, this entity can come back and make the sun never come up again, or make it a very long and cold and hard winter. The witches are fighting this over this long winter solstice night to get the sun to come back up. And it's told without words, without scripts, but through like this orchestral music that's tells the tale with the movement of everything. And Fantasia 2000 is one, I think one of the last ones. I guess you could say a wood nymph or a wood spirit is like floating around, but then there's a forest fire, and it's kind of like that. I don't want it to be that sad, more uplifting and showing the witches doing natural magic in a good way. And it's told through these kids' perspective that see it and end up taking a part and helping in it and learning like this natural Wiccan good magic. But yeah, that is the idea I came up with. Also the title, my working title, was either A Witch's Gift on Winter Solstice, because I was originally thinking of like a festive thing where the witches come together in this coven. They like this extended coven where they exchange gifts with each other, but the gifts are needed for each other. Like it's kind of a magical exchange. Like they need to be around each other for their magic to work. For whoever they're fighting, the entity they're fighting, to bring the sun back up on this long winter solstice night. It ought to be that, a witch's gift on winter solstice, or witch's Yule, because Yule is sometimes used as winter. I don't know. That doesn't sound. Yule is a weird word. But let's see what my friend, the chat bot, can come up with. So here's what ChatGPT came up with. Their title is Solstice Sorcery. Pretty good. Here's the log line. As winter solstice approaches, a coven of diverse and powerful witches must unite their magical forces to thwart a malevolent entity that seeks to plunge the world into eternal darkness by stealing the power of the sun. Here's a synopsis. In a quaint magical town nestled in the snowy mountains, it's always snowy mountains. It has to be snowy mountains. It's holiday. A coven of witches, each with unique abilities and background, receives an ancient prophecy foretelling the arrival of a dark entity that threatens to extinguish the sun's magic on the winter solstice. The witches, led by the wise and experienced high priestess Seraphina, which I've heard that name before. I forgot what it means, but I've heard it before, must put aside their differences and come together to save the world from eternal night. The coven includes Luna, the elemental enchantress, a powerful witch with control over ice and snow. Okay. I'm worried that because they named 4 main characters in the coven: Luna, Aiden, Isabella, and Ezra. Reading that one has like the power of ice. I went down a little too much of a Frozen take there. But okay. Aiden, the solar sage, a skilled potion master and solar magic specialist. Aiden draws power directly from the sun. Isabella, possessing the gift of foresight, Isabella has visions of the impending darkness. Her visions guide the coven on their quest, but they come up with cryptic messages that challenge the witches to unravel the true meaning behind the prophecy. Ezra, a modern witch with forever technology and gadgets. Okay. It gets generic. As the witch embark on a perilous journey to find a mythical sunstone. I don't like that. A powerful relic said to hold the essence of the sun. They encounter the enchanted creatures, solve riddles, and face trials that leads to their unity. Along the way, they must confront personal conflicts and prejudice within the coven, learning that the true power lies in embracing diversity. That's true, but it still sounds cheesy. Climax takes place on the actual winter solstice in a magical realm. That part I wanted to add too. Like it looks, when they're going to their meeting, it looks like they're going to a normal place in the woods, but they cross over into another magical realm. I like that idea. Where things are more, they look more holiday-ish in the pagan term. Like a lot of purple lights and holiday stuff, but more pagan, more natural. The witches combine their unique abilities, challenge the magic of the Sunstone, and engage in an epic battle against the entity. As the final confrontation unfolds, the coven discovers the true meaning of the prophecy and the importance of their bond. It's all about love. Solstice sorcery becomes a heartwarming tale of friendship, diversity, and the enduring power of the light in the face of darkness. Light in the face of darkness. Eventually, because it would take place over one night, the longest night. There would be a lot of setup before the winter solstice, but it would take place on the night of the actual winter solstice, which would be the longest night. And this would be the reason why of the longest night. But yeah, chatbot added some stuff to a little generic, but maybe I'll revisit this one or more pagan ones. More fairy tales about holidays, but more natural and nature based. So I think that's what I'm going to do. We still have some time before Christmas, actual end of holidays or end of the new year. Hopefully I got one more. I want to it's always hard to look up lore of witches because it's, like I said before, it's always based around negativity and bad stuff and what happened to people who were thought to be witches, which is kind of just depressing to slog through to get the actual tales. Maybe I'll find some more. I'll look at more pagan stuff. But yeah, this is my first pagan holiday idea. I ended there. Thanks for listening. To a witch's gift. Maybe a witch's gift on winter solstice, or just maybe it should be called a winter solstice. That's easier. A winter solstice. That could be like a Hallmark holiday movie, which probably already is. Where witches fall in love with a businessman from the city. No. But yeah, I ended there. Hopefully I'll do another one soon. I'll come up with another idea or add to this one. But thanks for listening. This is still Dumb Test Slate. I'm still Kirk. Catch you on the next one. Happy holidays. Bye.